welcome to a new edition of my journal. It's been a very long time, but I'm here. I'm so happy. Today is Saturday, January 5th, 2019. So it's been almost a year since I've been recording these journals. And as you can see, now it's bright again and it's very quiet. That means that I'm staying at our summer house where I started recording these journals 1 year ago. So far it's been a great year, 2019. I hope it's the best year so far for you too. Around here it's been very, very quiet, which is something that I was really looking forward to at the end of last year. I took a break from recording because I was feeling rather disorganized and I was moving houses all the time. I was going back and forth from my city house to our summer house, and I just never found the right place where all my things were, and when I had the right mental space also to talk about how things have been. So I decided to just not record until I really felt the urge to talk to all of you. I think last time I recorded I had just arrived from Barcelona, and I told you about everything that I did there, and I was very, very tired by then. So it was a good thing that I took a break, because otherwise I would have been telling you all the time, I'm so tired, and right now I'm so not tired. I have rested and I'm super refreshed and happy. So what happened during this time, other than, of course, the holiday season and spending time with my family, our parents, my brothers, I received 2 visits from knitting friends that live abroad. So around mid-December, the girls from Laine magazine, Sini and Jonna, and Antti is Jonna's husband, they all came from Finland to stay with us for about 10 days, which was a great time. We had the best time together. We got to chat about a lot of things, about reflecting about work and how we would like things to be in the industry, and a lot of things. Was really nice. Then we traveled together to Ushuaia, that's in the south of Argentina. Also a very nice time. And when they were leaving, I recorded a little interview with Jonna and Sini, so that you can learn about Laine magazine and some of the things they do and some of the ideas they have when they write the magazine, when they take the photos. So that's going to be at the end of this video, and I hope it works out. It was shot here at the summer house, but in the garden, so I hope that the sound it's okay. And then my friend Yael came right when Laine was leaving. Yael is one of my dear testers. She lives in California, and she came to visit too, and she stayed a few days, so that was really nice to see Yael. She came before Christmas and left after New Year's Eve, but she didn't spend the whole time with us. So that's that, and I have to be honest, I haven't been making a lot of things. I have been finishing a lot of work that was causing stress because it wasn't finished. So I have been writing and editing patterns and finishing patterns that were started and were almost there. So I haven't been very creative until last week when I started sewing and doing a lot of new things that I want to show you. So let's start with my finished objects. I have a lot of finished objects, but some of them are not with me anymore. So the first and most important one, probably the one you wanted to see, is the Primrose cardigan coat, the cable coat that I had been talking about in previous journals, made with Primrose yarns, exclusive colorway called All of the Lights, and that's going to be presented and featured at Vogue Knitting Live. It's not going to be an exclusive design, it's going to be up on Ravelry, but it's going to be released on the weekend of the Vogue Knitting Live show. Since I am not going to be attending Vogue Knitting Live show this year, I had to ship my sample to the US, so I don't have it here with me because it takes a long time to send stuff to other countries. So yeah, that's a bummer. But as a special surprise for the podcast viewers, I'm going to put here some photos of the cardigan, how it looks when finished, so that you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to probably talk a lot more when the when the pattern is out. Sorry, if I'm normally very slow with my pace, if I'm normally very chillaxed when talking, seriously, at the summer house, I'm half my speed. So I'm sorry if you guys are falling asleep listening to me. I'll do my best to keep up. So that's my first finished project, and I cannot show it to you. My second finished object are the... Did I bring my sock blockers? No, I didn't bring them. The socks that I designed for Madelinetosh, which will be released soon. And these are called Curiosity and Opportunity. And they are named after two Mars robots that are currently working in Mars. They are called Curiosity and Opportunity, so I thought it was a good name for the socks. These are worked in Madelinetosh Eurosock. Beautiful base. I highly recommend this base. And yes, they make me really happy. I think I'm going to keep this for myself. I'm not going to share this with anyone. I have been making a lot of things to give away lately, so I think these are going to be mine and only mine. They are being tested right now, and they will be available in 3 sizes, small, medium and large. And this is the medium size, which is fairly loose. I have kind of thick calves and ankles, and they fit me really well. So Eurosock from Madelinetosh in the colorway Mars Rover, and this will be called Curiosity and Opportunity socks. So that's my second finished object that I have to show you today. And then I have a third one that was finished recently, and it's this boxy poncho style pullover that I showed you a couple of times in the journal before. I'm not going to put it on because it's going to be very hot, but okay, let's see if I can pull my hair through. This pullover is made out of Woolfolk Luft in the colorway something with a number and the letter. My hair is my nemesis, guys. I don't know what to do with my hair. And it's a boxy style pullover. It has short elbow length, very comfortable sleeves. They are not tight, and it has open flaps like this, so that you can be super comfortable. It feels like a poncho, but it's more comfortable to wear. It has drop shoulders. I think the pattern is going to be open so that you guys can do whatever you want. The flaps are joined here in the underarm. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to seam it down a bit so that it's concealed, so that it doesn't look like it's seamed down, but also so that it doesn't open so much. Of course, you can add a button similar to what I did with my lemongrass pattern, but I kind of like the minimal look of the sweater like this, and I think that if I add a button here, it will just take away from the minimal aesthetics from it. I'm really digging this sweater. I can't wait to for winter to arrive so that I can wear it more often than I do. Right now I'm just wearing it to check the fit and stuff like that. What can I say about this? What else can I say? I really enjoyed the yarn. It's everything that you have heard about it and more. Luft has merino. The black fibers are merino and the white fibers are Pima cotton. And it looks really fluffy. It looks like it has some mohair or some alpaca in it, but actually it's just the construction of the yarn that makes it look like that. It's an expensive yarn, so this is an expensive design. I try to take that into consideration. I try not to use expensive yarns all the time, but I really wanted to design with this yarn. I wanted to try it out, and I'm happy I did, because I think the result is worth it. I worked at a tight gauge for this yarn. I didn't want my sweater poncho to stretch beyond control. Because it's so unstructured design-wise, it doesn't have seams on the side, and it's not tied to the body and stuff. I was afraid that if I also used loose gauge, that I would be swollen sort of by the sweater. So, and also I wanted to enhance the fluffy properties of the yarn. So I used 5mm needles, and my gauge is, in garter stitch, is something like 18 stitches, which is not a lot for a bulky iron weight yarn. So I'm really pleased with that. I know that a lot of people use Luft as a much heavier yarn, so they go for a more airy look, but I wanted this sweater to last a while. I wanted it to be something that I can wear for several seasons, especially because I'm in love with that sort of stonewashed look of the fabric. So I think that a tighter gauge will help my sweater stay in better condition. So that's that. It's entirely worked in garter stitch except for the bands, so that means that it's a really quick knit. And what else? I added a little detail here. You probably spotted this. It's a handmade tag that my friend Ale gifted me, and I did that because the neckline is not too low on the front, and the front and the back are the same. So I didn't want to fiddle around every time I had to. I think I sewed it in the wrong place. I think it's not centered, but try to ignore that fact because it won't bother me. So if it doesn't bother you, no one will know. But because the front and the back are similar, I didn't want to be checking constantly which one's the front, which one's the back. So I think that having a little tag actually helps me with that. As you can see, I plan to wear this sweater a lot. And in case you were wondering what these are and where you can get them, they're made by an Australian company called Arrow Mountain, and they sell these in packages of 3 units. They are acrylic and they have this little hole that you can use to sew them to your beautiful handmade clothes. And yes, I have tried it. I have tried if it's comfortable to wear against the back of your neck, and you cannot feel anything. They don't bother at all. So I really like this detail. I'm not such a sucker for finishing details as some people are. I think I just want to move on to a next project, so I never pay attention to those things. But now that I have done it, I'm really happy with the result. So this is called Black Cloud. It's currently being tested too. And as soon as my testers finish, I will publish this, because I know this is a cold weather garment, so I know that many of you will want to make one of these. So I will try to publish this as soon as possible. If anyone's wondering how much yarn my sample required, my medium large size required 11.5 skeins of Woolfolk Luft, which is 550 grams, a bit over 500 grams. No, 550 grams, yes. Yes. So those are my finished objects. I have my favorite drink in the whole universal universe, because it's quite hot. And then I'm going to show you my 2 works in progress, which leads me to talking about the feature pattern for today. So my first work in progress is a Joji wrap, and I haven't shown you this project so far, but I did show you the original sample that I made. So I showed you the first Joji wrap, and this is my second one. The pattern was released about a week ago, and it was very warmly received, so I truly appreciate you guys supporting me that way. Joji's wrap, in case you haven't been watching the latest journals, is a beautiful rectangular wrap that I designed in honor of one of my dearest friends. She's called Julie. You can find Julie as Evie and Lily on Instagram and on Ravelry, and Julie is also, she works for me. She's my customer support and sort of office helper every day. And I have designed in honor of many people so far. I've been designing for many years, so many designs have been inspired by friends, knitting and non-knitting friends. And a few months ago I realized I never designed anything inspired by Julie. A lot of my designs are actually inspired by her, but this one was the first that I said, I'm going to design this and I'm going to give it your name. So Julie Julie's wrap starts as a rectangular piece. Sorry, it's a bit wrinkled, so you cast on and you need a very soothing, I'm not gonna say boring because this is the perfect design if you're traveling, if you need something mindless. I think it was designed for that purpose, so it wasn't boring. Actually, it was designed to be your company without requiring you to think about it. And then you pick up stitches all around this rectangle. And you probably saw in the photo, I don't have my Julie sample anymore, you probably saw in the photo at the beginning of the podcast that it features, it has a wide border made out of twisted ribbon and a beautiful edge with bubble bind off. I gave Julie my sample. I gifted it to her when I went to Barcelona in November, and she was very happy. She made she made her own sample in black with mohair, and she was working on a second sample, but I think something happened with the dye lots. So why am I making one? I don't usually knit things twice. I'm known for never knitting things twice, but I was very happy when I gave Julie my Julie's wrap. She was touched, and I was happy that she had my knitting wrapping wrapped around her. But one day we were walking around in Barcelona and it was cold. I didn't have enough clothes and we were trying to find somewhere to eat, and I'm always very cold and Julie's always very hot, and she said, why don't you wear my wrap, you look cold. And I'm like, no. She said, yes, wear the wrap. And so I took it and I wrapped it around me, and I think because normally when I finish one of my designs, I don't think that I'm going to wear them, so I just put them away, or they go to trunk shows, or I give them away like this. I never thought of Julie's wrap as something that I could actually wear. So when I put it on to wear it, not to model it, I thought, wow, this is really nice. I want one of these. And I didn't feel sorry that I gave it to her, but I felt sorry that I didn't have one because I really liked it. So I decided that maybe I needed to make one, even if it took me 2 years, which probably will. And so I had that in my mind. And after Barcelona, I went to Berlin for one day. And during that day, I think I told you about this, during that day we visited the Frida Fuchs dyeing facility. Frida Fuchs is owned by my good friends Marion and Steffi from Yarn Over Berlin. And of course I wanted to buy something from Frida Fuchs because it was a good memory of my visit, and also because these yarns were dyed by my friend and I wanted to support the company. So I bought enough yarn to make my own Julie's wrap that will, when I finish it, will be very special because it's inspired by my friend Julie. And it was dyed by my friend Steffi, who, by the way, test knit Julie's wrap, and I think she used this color too. I don't remember the name of the color, but I will try to put it down in the show notes. So take a look at the pattern. if you're looking for something really easy and something that can join you along if you plan to make a trip, or if you're going through a hard time and you can focus on something very demanding, which was something that I went through in December. I was very, very tired and trying to manage a lot of things happening at the same time. Julie Rab really saved my life, I think, because it was so easy and so soothing to work on it. So I truly, truly recommend it. So, new pattern on Ravelry inspired by my friend Julie. Which also, by the way, I think it looks really, really elegant. Not because I designed it. I don't always design elegant things, but this particular wrap, I think it looks especially elegant. I'm really proud of that one. So go check it out, please. And that's my first work in progress. And you're going to laugh about my second work in progress, because I have been trying not to start any new designs until I finish working on the book. We are now compiling all the photos and all the patterns for interpretations, which is coming in March. We will soon have to send it out to the printer, and I'm finishing the Primrose cardigan testing, and I'm testing a few patterns, as you saw, things that are coming up. So I'm trying not to give myself too much work. At the same time, I'm trying to stay in this very peaceful zone for 2019. So as I said, I'm finishing all things. So I picked up this old whip that I showed on the first journal. On the first journal, it was already an old whip, but now it's older. I think I started this sweater a year and a half ago. It's a new sweater design that I hope it stays current. It's kind of a classic, so I hope it stays current. There you can see it. I'm working on straight needles, so I really cannot let me see if you can see. There you go. I really cannot show you how it fits so far, but it's a raglan cardigan. There you can see. It's a very classic shape with a tiny rib button band, and then a garter stitch, a neckband, rib neckband, and garter stitch button band. Everything's worked as you go, so you don't have to pick up stitches when you finish. And then it's a very classic shape. It has a very subtle waist shaping, and the lace pattern it's not so intuitive, so I have to keep my chart on my phone. Like this is how I usually work my patterns. I take a screenshot, or I take the chart that I make on my software, and then I add it to my favorites on my phone, so then I always have my charts on hand. But I have to keep looking at the chart, so it's not so mindless. But it's going well. As you can see, I'm over 20 centimeters past the armhole, and I finished the waist shaping. So maybe in another year or so I will finish the body, and then I can work on the sleeves. It's very funny how long it's taking me to work on this design, but it's there. It's going on well. I am using Woolfolk Tynd, maybe, in a very dark grey colorway, almost black. And this is super soft, beautifully soft. I think it's the same fiber that they use for all of their yarns. It's incredibly luxurious, feels like cashmere. And it uses very little yarn because this is very tiny gauge, so I think it will use something like maybe 7 skeins. Yeah, 6 or 7 skeins. I don't even know how much I use, so I will have to weight the cardigan when I finish. I'm using straight needles from Knit Sings in 3 millimeters. So that's US 2.5. It's very tiny gauge, but I'm also aiming for a more durable sweater because I know Woolfolk is a very fine merino, and I was thinking when I started this that if I make it very loose, then it will be very pilly and very stretchy, and I didn't want that. I wanted something that looks fuzzy and fluffy like cashmere, but not old and pilly. So hopefully I will keep working on this sweater and I can show it to you a bit bigger next week. I plan to record next week because now I have set up here at the summer house and it will be easier for me to just come and record and do my thing here. Yes, and then I have a future project that I would like to start someday, which is something selfish for me. This is Alpaca Sport by Frog Tree. I think this yarn is discontinued, but I got it from Nitty City in New York a few years ago. It was $8 at the time, so it was not an expensive buy. It's 100% sport weight alpaca, and I have 2 skeins of this gray shade. It's color number 9. So I have been thinking that I would like to make some gloves for myself. I don't know how difficult that's going to be. I don't think I've made gloves in a long time. I think I only once made gloves when I was pregnant with Nano, so that's over 13 years ago, and the fingers didn't turn out so well. So maybe the best idea is to follow a pattern first, to see how it goes. Then maybe one day I'll design a pair of gloves. But I hope this is enough. I hope 1 skein of each is enough. Of course, mittens would be easier, but I kind of want to make gloves for myself with this alpaca. I think they would be very luxurious. So we'll see how that goes. That's my future project. And now a bit of sewing. I haven't been talking about sewing in such a long time. I have been making a lot of things, but I don't have many of the things that I made. I gave a lot away. I gave a lot away not because I didn't want it. I made stuff for other people. But I have a couple of things to show you. This is a top that I made. It's very wrinkly and loose like that. It's a Maya top pattern by Marilla Walker. You know, I've made this pattern many times and I keep going back to it because I love it. I really like the low neckline with this facing, and the fabric was a gift from Diane, my friend, suburban stitcher, and I don't know what it is. It could be linen or it could be cotton gauze. I don't know what it is, but I loved it. I love the color, and I have worn this a lot of times, and probably you saw me wearing this top when I showed you the photos of the Primrose cardigan. And I love that this yellow top sort of made the yellow in the cardigan pop, or the colors in the cardigan pop. If you're looking for a first pattern or a second pattern for the top, for a basic everyday top with a lot of variations and a lot of versions, I highly recommend you take a look at Maya. It's a really fancy looking simple top that I love. And then I made 2 skirts using the same pattern. One of them, my mom is wearing it, she's outside, and you can see it in my Instagram page. And the second one was, I made it yesterday, and it's a Saltmarsh Skirt. It's a pattern by Merchant and Mills, and you can find it in their workbook. It's a very loose skirt, so there's a thread here. I'm going to just... it's a very loose skirt with an encased waist, no elastic, so you have to tighten it up with cord. It has inseam pockets. I used a lighter weight cotton for the pocket linings, for the pocket bags. This fabric is denim, printed denim that my friend Ale gave me. At some point I was going to put together a lot of different denim pieces. This was one of my crazy sewing dreams. When I was super into sewing last year, it was in my sewing zone, and I wanted to make a quilted jacket with a lot of different denims and sort of patch it up and then do some sashiko embroidering. I didn't know how to do any of those things, but Ale gave me some printed denims that I could use for it, and then I decided I didn't have the experience that something like that would require. At least I should make a quilted jacket with one fabric before attempting to put together a lot of different fabrics. And so, yeah, I just had this fabric lying around, and probably I would have preferred to make this gray or black. I have some gray fabric that would work really well, but I wanted to try the pattern first, see how I feel wearing this kind of skirt. I really like it. I don't think it's my favorite kind of skirt, but it's a good one. It has 2 pleats here in the back. You probably cannot see them very well. It has 2 pleats. It looks really well. I think I might have made it a bit too big because I'm so hippie. I'm always scared of making things too small for my hips rather than too large, and I think this might have been a bit too large for me. Maybe I made size 12, maybe I should have made size 10. I'm still learning. But it's a good skirt. I don't know if I want to make another version of it with a better fabric. I think I'll give it a bit more time. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to throw it in the washer and try to make it a bit more drapey, try to start wearing it out so that it's softer and maybe looks a bit more sand-washed. And I have I have been very inspired to sew again. I want to sew all the things. I have some fabric that I want to use, but I don't know. I want to sew all the things all at the same time. I have to say that I have been wearing my handmade clothes all the time. Like literally, it's almost everything I wear. But the things that I wear the most are things that are either white or black and yellow. So I'm trying to see what I'm going to do with the fabrics that are not that color. Maybe I will sew some things for my mom. She likes to wear all the colors together at the same time. And maybe I will make some gifts. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to probably stay with buying black and white fabrics, and then or yellow, and then save the colored garments that I wear for things that I see ready to wear and that I fall in love, and then I'll just buy it. One book that I've been looking a lot at lately is this book that I purchased from Amazon. It's called Stylish Dress Book. I'm going to add a link at the bottom. It's going to be an affiliate link on Amazon, just because if you want to buy it, then I can get a small commission that I can use to buy sneakers on Amazon later, but not because I'm not recommending this book just so that I get an affiliate link. I really like this book. So this book is probably something like $15-ish, and it comes with 26 simple patterns. And it comes with patterns like this simple dress and this simple top, and more, not complex, but more elaborate designs. Like, for example, I really want to make this shirt dress featured here. I dress like this a lot, so I'm going to try and see how that looks. And everything's very loose. Like, that shirt dress is very lacking in shaping. Another thing that I really would like to make for next winter is a velvet dress. I don't know if you saw, but velvet is everywhere. Everyone's, all of the ready-to-wear labels are featuring velvet dresses or velvet tops. So I've been thinking about making a lot of things in this book. Let's see. I really like this kind of, this is a shirt dress. The pattern is for the white thing she's wearing, not for this. The pattern is for this, and I really like this overshirt kind of garment. I think I would wear something like this in black over jeans and a white top or black trousers a lot. So we'll see. And the thing about this, oh, look at this one. I would really like this one. And the good thing about this book, I haven't sewn from it yet, so I can't say how good the instructions are. It's probably not going to be like an indie pattern where you get the full explanation for things, but the instructions are in English actually. So it's basically a lot of looking at the schematic and sort of figuring out what they wanted to do, but there's some aid from written instructions in English. So it's not like just looking at the drawings like I usually do with Japanese patterns. I'm assuming that the instructions are going to be very simple, sort of like a Burda magazine type of instructions. This is super nice too, if you like to dress like that. And Yeah, so I think I'm going to be trying a few of these patterns in the future. And what else? And of course, you have to trace your patterns. They come in different sheets, but you can cut them out. You have to trace them and then cut them, like with Border magazines or any Japanese sewing pattern. So that's for sewing for this week. I cut the fabric for a small dress. I uploaded a story to Instagram. Let me see if I can find, I don't know where I put the cut pieces here. So I cut the fabric to make a small, very small dress that I'm trying to make out of just 1 meter of this fabric that Ale and I also found at an old, it was something like mill ends or like an outlet thing that they were selling this fabric by the kilo, and Ale got some of it to make project bags, and then she brought me this scrap of fabric that was 1 meter, and I'm trying to make a dress out of that 1 meter. So I couldn't be very mindful about where these lines go. I don't mind. I wanted to sew it this morning, but then I realized I don't have any colored sewing threads here at the summer house, so I hope that I will soon be able to go buy some blue thread to sew this. I even had enough fabric from my small leftovers to cut some pockets. So I will hopefully show this to you next week. If I succeed, I will have made a dress out of 1 meter of fabric. We'll see how short it is. Maybe it will be too short to wear in public. So I'm going to leave you now with that interview that I made with Laine magazine. I hope you enjoyed that, and I really am very happy to be back. Lastly, before leaving, tell me what you'd like to see. I kind of lost my rhythm with the journal, so tell me what kind of things you'd like to see, and maybe what kind of designs would you like me to work on for this year 2019, and I will really appreciate that, because that sort of gives me inspiration for the year that's coming. Have a beautiful week, and hopefully see you next one. Bye! Hi. Hi. This is a very special section that I'm adding to the end of this journal. I don't know when I'm going to add this, so I'll just start by saying that today is December 19th, 2018, and I'm here sitting with Sini and Jonna from Laine magazine. We have just we're saying our goodbyes.
Yeah.
We have spent 10 days together. They came to visit us, me and my family, to Argentina, and we had a really great time. I'm very sad that they are leaving now, so I thought I could record a small talk with them so that you can get to know them, and also I can have a little memory and keepsake of our time together.
Yeah.
So thank you for agreeing. Our
pleasure.
I just wanted to ask you a few questions because I get asked a lot of questions about Laine wherever I go. So I thought it was good to give Laine this small section. So first of all, how is the magazine called? Is it Laine? Is it Laine's? Line?
We call it Laine.
We call it Laine. Yeah, because it's not just a French word for wall. So it's also a Finnish word meaning a tiny wave in the ocean. And we pronounce it Laine. But as we always say, we are good with every sort of pronunciation.
Yes. I think that every different name that people have given to the magazine, they all look really nice. So it's nice that Laine also has this international way.
Yeah.
So Sini and Jonna, you're both from Finland. What part of Finland are you from?
We are from Tampere. So Tampere is the second largest city in Finland, and it's about 200 kilometers from Helsinki, so to the north. And we love our town. It's a small town, 250,000 inhabitants.
A good size for living.
Good size for living, and
lots of culture and lots of creative people. There's many things are happening. Quite a lot of fashion.
Yeah, it's a
and
very
theatre, music.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share with everyone what you guys did before Laine. So, Sini, you were a photographer. You have been for a long time. But what kind of photography did you do before Laine?
I did food. So I used to have a food blog, an international one.
That's called?
My Blue and White Kitchen. It's still online, but I haven't updated it in, I think, maybe 3 years.
Since Laine.
Since Laine. And then I used to be a psychologist.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Jonna?
Well, I have been a journalist for my entire adult life. So I became a journalist almost 19 years ago. And since then I've worked in various Finnish magazines, mostly about interiors, about do-it-yourself stuff, about fashion, and then a few years back I kind of decided that I have seen the publishing industry, and I gave up my job and decided to open a yarn store. And I opened a yarn shop, and I had it for 4 years, I think. 4 years, I think. Mm-hmm. And through that shop, for instance, we became friends. And, well, during those years as a yarn shop owner, I loved every minute, but I also started to long publishing. And then when we came up with the idea of Laine, so that was kind of it. So I sold my yarn shop, and since then we've been working just for Laine.
Sini and Jonna, what do you think you wanted to bring with Laine that you think that we weren't getting from other publications, or perhaps we were getting that, but what is your the main thing that you wanted to give to Laine?
Strong storytelling through pictures, through photos, and to maybe to share something about our Nordic heritage, like we in Finland especially, we are quite quiet people and melancholic, which is for us isn't a bad thing.
Right.
So we derive strength from that dark periods of years, and that was something that we wanted to share the culture we live in.
Yeah.
So not just knitting, although it's it's the main thing, but something that comes inside of us.
Yes, and regarding storytelling, what I really enjoy about you is to follow you on Instagram, because you're really good at storytelling. Not only in the magazine, you're good at telling the story of what's going on with your. I'm not sure if it's about Sini's or Jonna's life, but what's going on with your photography life, with your traveling life, with your design life, with your visual inspiration. So I really encourage you, if you don't follow Laine magazine, to do it, because even if you cannot get the magazine wherever you are, then they provide so much inspiration just by looking at your Instagram feed, and your words is really nice. So my other question is about the content of the magazine. So what sections do we have in Laine normally in a traditional issue?
We usually have 10 to 12 patterns.
Yeah, by various designers.
Do you try to get varied designers, like to have them from different parts of the world, or different styles, or different...
We always have a nice mix of
New
designers. Yeah, some are pretty new, maybe have never published a pattern, certainly not in print, maybe a couple of on Ravelry.
I think that's so important, because I like always to be exposed to new styles, to new inspiration, to new ways of interpreting what knitwear design is about.
Yeah.
And then various techniques.
Yeah.
Some patterns are really easy, kind of mindless knitting. Others are quite
elaborated, challenging ones.
And then, different techniques.
And then we have food. So Sini makes the recipes. And then we have a travel guide. So every issue we have a couple of pages about one city in the world.
Right.
Like last time we were in Reykjavik.
Yeah.
And the next issue, which is coming out soon, it'll be from London.
When did you create that London guide?
In the beginning of November, we went to Yarnporium.
And you took time to do some...
Yes. Yeah. And London was quite easy for us, because we've been to London so many times. So you kind of know where the places are that you want to have in the guide.
What kind of information can we find in travel guides by Laine? What do you like from a place? What do you recommend from a place?
Restaurants.
Yeah.
Restaurants
with good food, or a nice ambience, or and all the places we have in our travel guides, those are all places we love.
Yeah.
So it's not just a travel guide. You can see it's like Jonna's and Sini's favorites.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple of places where to stay. Those are places we have stayed in, or friends have stayed in at least. Then we have a couple of shops always.
Yeah, we
yarn shops, or
yarn
fabric,
shops.
or some other concept stores or stuff like that.
Yes. But usually, and well, not usually, always, we have a couple of yarn shops, because I think that's the main reason our readers read our travel guides. So in the future, there might be even an increase of telling all the yarn shops in the town in specific.
Yes.
Okay, I know about your last photo shoot and how it went. Can you tell us what to expect in the next issue of Laine, and what happened in the photo shoot with the light and the place, and what you were expecting, and managing expectations versus reality?
So we decided to shoot issue 7 in Finland. And when you made that kind of a decision, which means that you are shooting in the beginning of December, so that means in Finland we only have 2 hours of daylight max, and we don't do flashes. So we always use natural light when it comes to the magazine.
And I think it's especially important in knitwear in general.
To create the right mood. So we went to Lapland, and we were hoping to get some snow. And we got a bit, but it wasn't as wintry as we were hoping
and
it
as
to
usually.
be. As usually.
Yeah.
And this time, because usually when we shoot the magazine, we use our friends as models. So they are seldomly professional models. But now that we knew that, okay, we have this maybe 1.5 hours a day to shoot, and we have 12 garments in 2 days. So in total we have 3 hours.
Right.
So you need to have a professional model to it's so much faster
Right.
to work with a professional.
I've been your model for some Laine photographs, and also for you photographed my own pattern as favors, and I just stand still. I don't know what to do until the photographer gives you some direction.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can move a bit, but usually it's the photographer who tells you, why don't you, look that way or move that way, and then you're just so confused with your role because it's not what you normally do. You just stand still, and I suppose that a model can actually make things more dynamic.
Model offers all the time different positions and knows her best sides.
Yeah.
And also this time, because the time window was really so short to shoot, we always, like I and Jonna shoot the whole issue. So this time in Lapland, because we were really short of time, we shooted both of us shoot at the same time. So actually the model had two photographers
at the same time.
At the same time, so that we would have the photo shoot as short as possible.
Right.
So maybe Jonna was taking some main pics, I was simultaneously taking some details or other angles.
Right, and I don't know.
That would be super confusing.
I would have been super confused. Yeah. And often I feel that, when we use the word model, we have talked about this.
Yeah.
People think that when we use a model or Laine uses a model, it's because you want someone that is super beautiful or more beautiful than one of your friends, and it's often because it makes your job so much easier. And these people are not necessarily supermodels.
No,
they can be whatever age or whatever size, but they just know how to make your work as a photographer easier. I can see how having someone who really knew how to change quickly into different clothes and like what to do with her hair and stuff was super
the changing changing sections were quite funny in Lapland because it was cold. So Lotta, our model, was posing in a sweater, not with her proper coats, nothing like that. So whenever she changed her clothes, she went to sauna. Because we heated the sauna. The first thing we do in the morning, we heated the sauna in order to get Lotta a warm place to change her clothes.
So we made sure she's never really cold.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I really look forward now to, seeing next issue and, looking at these pictures with this in mind. And, I appreciate how you were able to create the wintry mood even without time, lights or snow.
Yeah.
So my last question about Laine is, can you share with us something new that's coming for the future, that you have plans that's different from the magazine? Anything you like to share with us?
We are going to do some merchandise. So in the beginning of next year, we will be releasing our first pins, for instance.
They are just about to be sent.
To the printers.
Yes.
And there will be at least one hardcover book. At least one. There might be more, but
you will be working on that next year.
Yes. And when it comes to magazines, 3 as usual. So 3 in a year. But there will be other publications.
Other new Laine products for us.
Yeah.
Did the battery go?
No.
Went black.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say bye-bye now, and I'm happy that we thought of doing this.
Yeah,
and I hope you really enjoyed this little chat with Laine, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.